Entertainment exclusive.
That's right. Speaking of a lot of wrestling and more wrestling, we have an opinion segment here. You know, we got an opinion segment from TJ episode or two ago, and now we're going to get a Dave opinion. We got so much wrestling. Is it too much? Let's talk about something that's been on my mind for a while. As wrestling fans, we're living in an era of abundance, almost too much abundance. There are currently 8 weekly televised wrestling shows between AEW and WWE. And we're not talking about some YouTube backyard wrestling. These are network-backed, prime-time, legit TV deals on major platforms like the USA Network, TBS, TNT Network, and even Tubi. I don't know how major Tubi is, but I mean, it is a free platform that's on every streaming device, so probably. Let's break it down. WWE has Monday Night Raw, 2.5 hours, SmackDown, 2 hours, NXT, 2 hours, Main Event, 1 hour, and that's on Peacock and Hulu, Evolve, 1 hour on Tubi, and the WWE Speed, which is a 15-minute thing that they show on Twitter that I think they tape during Main Event or Dark Match during this other stuff, who knows. But that's almost 9 hours of WWE branded programming every single week. And that's before you even get into the monthly PLEs, which can go 3 to 4 hours each. And don't forget about the NXT runs of its own PLEs. And occasionally WWE has the Saturday night main event specials. So there's a lot going on there. And then we get to AEW, which Dynamite's 2 hours, Collision's 2 hours, instantly there 4 hours a week for AEW. If you add that up, you're looking at 13 hours of weekly wrestling television from just WWE and AEW. And like TJ and I were just saying a second ago, we don't watch TNA or other wrestling. So like, you know, this is just these two. That's not counting all the other ones that are out there. And again, that doesn't account for the monthly pay-per-views and PLEs, which tack on another 3 to 8 hours, depending on the month. So here's the thing. On paper, more wrestling sounds like a dream. But in practice, it's kind of a grind. It's almost a part-time job just keeping up with everything. And it's not just about how much content there is. It's about what that does to the quality of the content. When you're filling 13 hours of wrestling TV a week, not everything can matter. Not everything can breathe. Not every character gets the time or direction they deserve. Segments start to feel like filler. TJ and I talk about this all the time. Storylines get stretched thin, and even the hot angles start to feel a little colder when they're buried in the middle of a 2-hour show you're watching out of obligation. It's not all bad. There's plenty of great wrestling out there, and we're definitely at a point where oversaturation is starting to feel real. And while we're not asking for less wrestling, we're asking for more meaningful wrestling, more focused shows, tighter storytelling, higher impact, lower bloat. More doesn't always mean better. And in the world of weekly wrestling TV, it might be time to start asking what should stay weekly and what might be better off on the cutting room floor. Yeah. So, what do you think of that, TJ? Do you think that we're kind of suffering from a little bit of bloat right now, or do you think that where we're at in terms of content that it's a good place?
Well, when you said the 13 hours there, like if you that's because we're watching two shows. If we just split it up into the I agree with you either way. But if you split it up, like AEW does 2 hours of Dynamite and then 2 hours of Collision. Now that in itself I don't think is too much, but the main problem is that Collision never really has any plans, and sometimes some storyline stuff happens on there, and there are some great matches that happen, so there's that to look forward to. But overall the show seems sloppy, not a lot of preparation, multi-man matches just tossed together, and just a lot of slop. And to some extent I feel like that happens on Dynamite here and there too, and definitely happens on SmackDown, and it happens on Raw here and there. And a lot of the stuff on Raw I feel like a little bit more focused. Not everything. There is a lot of backstage segments, like we were saying, and there's improvements to be made from all the shows. But yeah, there's too much wrestling. And the thing about it is these companies know each other exist, and there's definitely a crossover. So at some point, it's like you would just want to have the better wrestling and have more people watching that one better wrestling thing as opposed to more shitty wrestling. So yeah, I get what you're saying there.
Exactly. We're not hating, just use the time more equitably. And then also, like we talked about this weekend, SmackDown's back down to 2 hours. That's such a relief.
Yeah, that's good.
So hopefully we're going to start seeing a more tight, concise storytelling on SmackDown.
I wish these shows would start earlier. Like, I really like 6 o'clock. No, we don't got to do 6, but maybe 7. I think that'd be good. Shows ending around like 9 o'clock, 9:30. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think 7. 7's a good start time.
Yeah, we're all these people that are getting old, that keep watching this show can't keep up all the time. Like I said, me falling asleep yesterday. But
thank God we can just watch it the next day.
But thanks for sharing that with us. We'll put it out there and let us know if you agree or disagree, and we'll have some dialogue about it. With that being said, I think that'll go ahead and wrap up.
An OverMark Entertainment exclusive.